I always find it kind of weird that Storm's on again, off again as Wolverine, but not Forge, who she almost married. I got nothing against Wolverine. I know he smells like wet dog. But I always wonder why Forge gets passed over as the former lover, especially when he knows her real well. They went through a very traumatic experience together. But even saying that, I'm a real big fan of the way they patch things up and have become platonic friends. And even to this day, Forge knows he's down bad for Storm. My man even has a simulation where Storm and Mystique are his conscience. Storm, of course, representing the good, and Mystique representing the cold, calculated part. The angel and the devil on the shoulder. This takes place in X Factor, and he's going over a situation that happened, and Sage walks in on him. She's like, oh, cool, I see a faux Storm here. Hi, how you doing? Still obsessing over her. That's really healthy, really healthy. But Forge has admitted, yo, there'll always be a piece of me that loves her, but I'm not afraid to move on as well. I really enjoy that aspect of his character. He knows where he fucked up. He took the lumps from Storm over in Extraordinary X-Men, did a video on that already, and he constantly plays the part of support. Even going back to when it was first announced that Storm and T'Challa were gonna get married, we see Forge working in his workshop talking with robots. Forge is talking about not being able to see emotional connections like he can mechanical connections with his mutant power, which is why he never saw T'Challa and Storm getting married, but he wishes her all the best, and he knows he dropped the ball. But all he wants for Storm is to have better than he could have gave her. Everybody wants shit on my man where he fucked up, but we don't talk about that accountability though. It's also funny taking a look back and seeing Wolverine's reaction to Storm and T'Challa getting married as well, because he wanted to throw T'Challa a bachelor party. This was back in the 2005 run of Black Panther. He's talking about it with Luke Cage, and Luke Cage is like, I don't know how cool T'Challa would be with this, considering you're with this girl and now you're throwing the bachelor party. And Wolverine clears the air like, hey, wait a minute, we never did anything. Also, she considers him family. That makes him family to me as well, and I just want to be appreciative of him. I thought that was a real cool gesture, and we see T'Challa accept that gesture as well, because they're like, yo, y'all are family, and that's the reason I even came along. I didn't want to be here, but I came along for that. That's a sweet moment, but then when they get divorced, it's really funny between T'Challa and Storm because they're playing a game of chess. He's like, yo, you can move on with whoever. I ain't trying to control you, but yo, do me a favor. Not him, referring to Wolverine, which is hilarious because Storm is the one that pursued it as well. Like, hey, you ain't gonna tell me shit, and rightfully so. Hope I can find it later on, but one of my favorite scenes is T'Challa and Logan seeing each other. T'Challa's in the jet looking down at Logan like, Logan, and Logan says to T'Challa, Your Highness. Woo! The tension thick. And I get it makes sense why you put them together. Two of the most popular X-Men. I get it, but still, man. I think for me, it's just weird because we always see Wolverine pining after Jean. Down bad for Jean. Meanwhile, Storm's there all this time. So I guess it feels like to me, Storm's the runner-up when it's like, how the fuck is that possible? That's Storm. But again, yo, this is the X-Men. They be fucking. Also, it goes to show that there was no plan when Krakoa fell apart because she was with Craig and NASA. But when the plan was to end Krakoa, nobody knew what was going to happen afterwards or what storylines was staying, so now we got this going on. But I mean, we don't know what they got going on. Maybe it's an open thing, whatever. But I am interested to see her with Craig and NASA because there's a new period in Storm's life. So I'm interested in this follow-up, but if there's no follow-up to that, that's perfectly cool too. I would also like to see what happens with her in that rooftop in Japan and Yukio. Let's not forget about their connection as well. You say your girl's a queer icon, then let her be a queer icon. Another reason I love seeing her with like a Craig Robinson, a Yukio, or a Forge, because that was the first interracial kiss I ever saw. And that's when I learned at a young age that interracial doesn't always mean white plus POC or a black person. And it was dope to see a relationship that's interracial without whiteness at the center of it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that's a common thing we see. So let me see the uncommon thing. I mean, this is the X-Men, right? Show me the uncommon factor. And another uncommon factor in comics is seeing two black folks together as well. Or a prominent Asian couple, or a prominent indigenous couple. At one point in Marvel, from about maybe 2014 to 2017, every title with the white lead had a POC love interest or a black love interest. Again, which is cool, but what happens after they're gone? I don't want to see a love interest of color or that's black just there for the moment. I want to see them fleshed out and not just a romantic interest. And quiet as kept, Al Ewing has been putting a lot of prominent black characters together. Al Ewing gave us Storm and Craig of NASA. He also gave us Blue Marvel and Monica Rambeau back in Mighty Avengers. Monica Rambeau and Blue Marvel are no longer seeing each other now, but we got an explanation for that in the resurrection of Magneto. Storm needed a favor from Blue Marvel where she had to go and get Magneto from death. She basically had to cross over what shouldn't be crossed. And Blue Marvel just said, yeah, I can do that. Cool, I got a machine for that. Let's roll. And Storm thought to herself that Blue Marvel didn't even question what she was doing or didn't even try to warn her, that he was just like, yeah, that's a simple thing. I can do that. As if he was just handing her a remote or getting a book from a shelf. The dire consequences were nothing to him. It reminded her of Forge. And in that moment, she realized what Monica saw in Blue Marvel and why she left Blue Marvel, which is damn, but also, hey, you needed my help. Fuck all the consequences shit. We getting this done or not? But yeah, that's just something I've always wondered about when it comes to Storm's old flames. Why is Wolverine the default when Forge has a more intimate history with her? But maybe that's the reason why. Storm might not want something serious. She knows Logan is community dick, and she's just here to have some fun. And also, maybe it is best that that door with Forge is closed and they just remain platonic, because I do like that relationship. Storm's had a long history. We're going to be celebrating a 50-year anniversary of her. So it'd be nice to see her go with an old fling that we never really got to see expounded upon. We know her and Wolverine have fun together. I want to see these other loose ends though. And I don't want them tied up. I want to see how messy they can get.